Hello everybody, this is the GoldenLockPicker and I'm back at you here with another lock on the bench today. What I have for you guys today is this is another blue belt level lock and specifically a lever lock. This right here is the ERA 5-lever insurance lock. So this particular one is a blue belt level lock, lever lock. And it qualifies basically for insurance purposes over in the UK, or at least it did at some point or another. And this lock in particular has 5 levers, so we'll go ahead and unlock this thing, turn it over. And what's kind of neat is if you actually watch down in there, let's see if I can maybe turn this over so we can get a little more light in there. You can actually watch some of those levers move as that bolt comes over. So you can actually see the individual levers kind of rise and fall. And basically each one of those is just a little bit thinner than obviously these laminate sheets that are right here. But it's kind of fascinating. It's just a very interesting locking mechanism. As a younger child, my grandparents had moved into town and acquired a home that still had some lever locks in it. The doors that were on the exterior were converted over to a pin tumbler, but all the interior doors still had their lever lock mechanisms in them. So I always found that kind of really fascinating. So we'll go ahead and just show you the key there, the ERA key. And let's go ahead and get to picking. But I want to tell you guys about a little trick that I believe I've found that's helped me in my lock picking journey, not just for lever locks, but I think even pin tumblers. And I have not quite transitioned this yet into dimple lock picking, but my guess is it will be similar. So what I'm going to do is actually take the key, and we can see that it's locked right now, and I'm actually going to use the key and try to replicate the same amount of tension that I would if I was turning the key, and with the same finger. So in this case, it'd be this thumb and that pointer finger, or sorry, not pointer, but middle finger there on my hand. And that's just how I pick it. I pick it in hand. Because if I do it with my right hand, obviously this is the one doing the picking, not the tensioning. So what I'm going to do here is, as you see, I just turn it over, and that gives me a gauge for how much tension I need. And I know it's hard to relay that on video, but if you get a lever lock to about that tipping point where it's about to tip over and you let go, it kind of shows you just how much spring tension these are under. So right there, we're at halfway. It doesn't want to move. You can see it really lets go. I'm trying to slow it down there with my finger. You can see it's under, a certain amount of tension, and you want to figure that out. Well, I used that technique to also figure out how to pick through some of those ABIS pin tumbler locks to get a gauge for like how light my tension really needs to be. And the machining on those ABIS pin tumbler Euro cylinders is so good that you need very little to no tension at all. And the other reason I've done that is on this particular lever lock, I actually found this a little more challenging when I first got it than my Chubb Cruiser, which is kind of interesting because the Chubb Cruiser's got some false gates and it can be kind of nasty. But I think it's a lot more tension sensitive, this particular lock. So I've got my tension down. I at least kind of have an idea. I'm going to do that one more time just so I get it in my mind. One more time. Okay. Well, maybe I'll switch. Maybe we'll do it with this. Okay, that kind of gives me a starting point, so I'll go ahead and put in my tensioner now. And as you can see, this is a posted keyway. And then I'm just going to tip this sideways. I'm just going to go through and pick each individual lever one by one. What should happen if we're tensioning this right, you should start to feel that turner just gently roll over a little every time we get one of these closer and closer. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We can feel just like a touch of movement. And what I'm doing, just so you guys know, is I'm actually kind of moving around, starting from lever 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just work my way through, and then once I hit 5, I come back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what's interesting is at some point you'll get to a point where it's just dead, and that's probably an indicator that that one is set. So it's just going to slowly start going a little more dead. Okay. We got a little more movement on the core there, or the tensioner. There we go, and bam. Whew, that is really a fun pick through. If you are thinking about lever lock picking, I strongly encourage you to give it a go. I mean, it's a blast. It can be kind of I don't want to say cost prohibitive because of the cost of some of these locks and getting them shipped over, but don't let that scare you, because the challenge of getting through these is really interesting, especially if you kind of have an affinity for sort of this, you know, some of these older locks. Some of the locks are obviously much newer Newer than I am. And some of the locks I've got in my collection are older, and they are older than even my parents. And some of these companies have been making these for over 200 years or more. So there's a lot of cool stuff out there. If you go hunting on eBay, go look through some places, you'll get to check out some cool locks like this Blue Belt ERA 5-lever lock. So I hope you guys appreciated that. If you have any questions, feel free to ask down below. Otherwise, I guess I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya. Bye.